Welcome to day 24 of the challenge. Let's just write this up here, day 24. We're gonna do today, we're just gonna sketch all in this round stick big pen, no erasing, so whatever happens, happens. And we're gonna use watercolor in terms of our marker pen. So we're going to be using this Crayola Super Tip as well as these other colors to hopefully make a palette and get to painting. Okay, so this is what it looks like thus far. I actually did not extend the picture, so sometimes I'll get in the habit of trying to extend a picture and make it longer or finish the parts that are missing, but we're not doing that with this one today. To start off, we're going to color the skin with marker first. So this is actually a fairly new marker, so it goes down smoothly, and I'm putting the water on top while it's still fresh, so I'm not letting it completely dry. That way it can be nice and flowy. Also, I'm going back over where I put the water previously just to blend it through so that it can all be very, very flowy. And I'm actually going to take some of the excess and put it on the face. So I'm going to be working this face area throughout as we go, and I'll put down this first initial layer based off the pigment I got from the chest. And then I'm going to keep swirling. So this is basically the chest and the arms. Now I have to do this arm right here and carry whatever I pick up into the décolleté area as well as the chest and other shoulder. And this is actually a lot of water. So hopefully it does not seep through. We'll see. I don't know. But the funny thing is that the marker isn't exactly skin tone, it's more of a pink, yet because of the addition of water it does resemble skin a lot more than it would otherwise. So that's how much we did with just the first application. I'm going to add some more right here, and this time you get to see it in real time, which is nice. And then you just go over it and spread it around. And now I can add a second layer to the face. You can see the difference, right? Now, what I realized after doing it is that I wish I had put the layers of skin in the same areas as the shadow. I kind of just put a uniform second layer, whereas it would have been beneficial to follow the shadows presented in the picture. So for example, there's a shadow in the armpit, there's a shadow over this shoulder. So let's get these two shadows down. It's not really the same. So now the question is whether you can mix colors, because her dress is a little bit of a yellow green. So I'm going to go down and put this first base yellow and then put a green on top. And we go forth with the colors. So let's see what comes out of it. It's gorgeous. It's actually mixing pretty well if I work in it. So whatever color we pick up, we're gonna put on the scarf. So the scarf will already be the blended combination of the two, and the scarf is gorgeous. So let's just work. Also, another thing is I want to be able to work a little bit quickly before the water dries. That's one thing to note. I don't want this water to dry, so I want to work the blend. Right now we're working on the blend and we're distributing the pigment, but I also want to make sure I can pick up any excess or color transfer before the water dries. Sometimes I don't think it's really drying. It may just be seeping into the next page, because this is a sketchbook. This is not a watercolor pad. So it's just meant for pencils. It's not that heavy, it's not that thick either. So this has to do with the medium that I'm using. But look at that green, it's gorgeous. And we already have most of the scarf down. On for the middle section now. Not only do I put the water down, but I work through it so the water gets through all the layers And any excess water I pick up and I transfer the color. Now we're going to be wise and we're going to put the second layer on the shadows. We're going to learn from the mistakes that we made with the skin. And even if they're not where the line is exactly with the ballpoint, as long as it's in the general area, right? So it can be indicative of shadows. Okay. Now I did bleed right here through the lines. So the arm right here, 2, 3, 4, 5. This was a spill. I just picked up and I just went like this, so the glop of water fell. But this is what it looked like so far, and all that's left is the hair actually. And I'm gonna use this brown for the hair, and you can see that it's running out. You would think that's a problem, but that's actually really, really good. It helps because it'll give a lighter hue when painting it. So now we're gonna wet the brush, and then you're gonna see exactly what I'm talking about. See? It doesn't really matter how little ink you have. As long as you have something you can put down, the water will spread it out, and it actually turned out more resemblant of watercolor paint than all the other colors. I think this had the least, so dried out markers are the best for this type of work. Not completely dried, so unusable, but nearing dry. I like that this is an angled brush, so we can do her brows in brown. Okay, we'll make her eyes brown and the lashes, and I'm just gonna make the lips brown as well. Her nostrils are gonna be brown. Everything's just gonna be brown, okay? Everything brown. But let's go back and actually put the right color for her lips. So I want to go back and make a background with this marker. And this will actually bring out the undertones of her skin. Her skin is pretty pink. Also, it'll help cover up some of the errors I've made. I focused all the pigment on one side because we're going to do the pickup and transfer. I wet my brush and I put the water down. I work it through to pick up color, and then I transfer it to the other side. So that's what we're going to do throughout. Just pick up color, work through, blend, and bring it as close to the natural line as possible. You could see when I was flicking there was a dot, so we're just gonna bring that into the fold and then keep working. So this is all the pigment that we've gotten from this one little batch. I actually haven't even moved forward. Now onto the next part right here. We're just gonna work in some water, pick up, and then transfer. Keep working it through the color. Another thing to note is that technique on how you put the colors down when you're coloring and how you apply the water matters a lot. I remember in my first video yesterday I said that we would apply the water, or actually a few days ago I said you move perpendicular to how you put the color down. This time I was going with the color. And also you see how I left some gap between the pigment and the person? That's because I wanted the water to fill in the space. So you don't have to do that. That's all based on your preference. This is the final look. And in addition to being the final look, we can do a flip through of the other pictures I did today. This one was a ballpoint sketch. This one was a ballpoint sketch of a screenshot. Or like the first image, like a thumbnail. I don't know. It was with their video interact. It was their video reaction. So I'll put it down flat so you can see it better. ZSMB. This one was another portrait that I did. This one is a portrait. And then this one. This was the last thing that I did today. This is the last thing I did today. So that is it for today. These are all the pictures I've done so far. And this is the final picture.